Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Master Your English.
The place where real conversations help you speak naturally.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Michael.
Have you noticed something strange lately? You open your phone for 1 minute and suddenly 30 minutes are gone. You sit down to study, but after 5 minutes, your mind starts wandering. You try to focus on one thing, but somehow everything feels louder than before. A message, a notification, a video, a random thought. And before you know it, your attention disappears. Sometimes I wonder, are we becoming more distracted, or is the world becoming harder to focus in?
That question feels very personal to me because honestly, Jane, I feel this almost every day. There are moments when I sit down to work, feeling motivated. I tell myself, okay, today I'm really going to focus. Then somehow, I check one message, then another. Then I suddenly remember something I forgot to do yesterday. Then maybe I open YouTube just for a minute, and somehow, the whole morning disappears.
That sounds painfully familiar. And I think many people listening right now are quietly saying, yes, that's me.
Exactly. And what feels strange is that many of us were not always like this. Do you remember when it was easier to stay with one thing? Reading a book for an hour, watching one movie without checking your phone, sitting quietly without feeling uncomfortable.
I remember that. And honestly, sometimes I miss it. Because now, even relaxing feels harder. Sometimes I watch something on TV while checking my phone, and at the same time, I'm thinking about tomorrow. And suddenly I realize I'm not really doing anything fully. I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Wow, that sentence feels very true. Everywhere and nowhere. And maybe that is one reason we feel tired all the time. Because our attention is constantly moving, always switching, never resting.
You know, this reminds me of something that happened a few weeks ago. I wanted to read a book, just a simple evening. Tea, a quiet room, a good book. Sounds peaceful, right?
Very peaceful.
But something strange happened. After 3 pages, I checked my phone. Then, after another 2 pages, I checked it again, and again, and again. At one point, I stopped and asked myself, what am I even looking for? Nothing important had happened. No emergency. No urgent message. But somehow my brain wanted stimulation.
That word is important. Stimulation. Because I think many of us have become used to constant stimulation. Fast videos, fast scrolling, short content, everything moving quickly. And slowly, our brains begin expecting constant excitement. So when something becomes quiet, or slow, or difficult, we lose patience.
That makes me think about learning English too. Sometimes people tell me, Jane, I can't focus when studying English anymore. I get bored quickly. My attention disappears. And honestly, I understand that feeling because focus feels harder now than before.
Definitely. And the scary part is, sometimes we blame ourselves. We think, maybe I'm lazy. Maybe something is wrong with me. But I don't think that's the full story. I think many people are struggling with attention now, not because they are weak, but because modern life is noisy.
Very noisy, not just sound, mental noise, information everywhere. News, messages, videos, emails, ads, people talking, endless opinions. Our brains are trying to process too much.
And when your brain feels overloaded, focusing becomes difficult. It's like trying to hear one voice in a crowded room.
That is such a good example. I once heard someone say, your attention is the new currency.
That feels true, because everything is fighting for our attention now. Apps want your attention. Social media wants your attention. Videos want your attention. Even advertisements are designed to keep you watching. And after a while, your focus becomes tired.
Like a muscle.
Exactly. And just like a muscle, if we stop training it, it becomes weaker.
That reminds me of something personal. A few months ago, I noticed something uncomfortable. I could scroll social media for 1 hour, but reading 10 pages of a book felt difficult. And honestly, that scared me a little.
Because you realized something had changed?
Yes, something inside me had changed. My attention felt shorter. My patience felt weaker. And I started wondering, is this becoming normal?
You know what? I had almost the same experience. One evening, I sat down to study something important, and after 10 minutes, I suddenly picked up my phone, not because I needed something, just automatically, like a habit, and that moment made me stop and think, who is controlling my attention, me or my habits?
That question feels powerful because maybe the problem is not only technology. Maybe it's also what we are teaching our brains every day. Fast, quick, instant, everything immediately. And maybe, slowly, we forget how to stay still.
Or how to stay with one thing long enough to enjoy it.
Exactly. And I think this connects deeply with happiness too. Because some of the best things in life require focus. Deep conversations, learning English, reading, building skills, even relationships. These things grow slowly.
But modern life teaches speed, fast entertainment, fast answers, fast success, and maybe that creates a quiet frustration inside us, because real growth is slow.
You know what's interesting? People often ask, how do I become more focused? And maybe the answer is not only adding something, maybe it is removing something.
That's interesting. Removing distractions?
Maybe, or maybe removing the habit of always needing stimulation, because silence feels uncomfortable for many people now. Even waiting in line feels uncomfortable. We immediately grab our phones.
That's true. We are becoming uncomfortable with boredom. But maybe boredom is not the enemy. Maybe boredom is where focus begins.
That reminds me of something surprising I noticed recently. A few Sundays ago, I forgot my phone at home, completely by accident. At first, I felt uncomfortable, almost nervous. I kept touching my pocket, like something important was missing.
That sounds familiar. I think many people know that feeling.
Yes, and honestly, it surprised me because I realized I wasn't bored. I was uncomfortable without stimulation. There is a difference.
That's interesting. Can you explain?
Of course, boredom feels calm, quiet, slow, but discomfort feels restless, like your brain keeps asking, where is the next thing? What should we check now? What are we missing?
Wow, that sounds very real. Because many of us are constantly checking notifications, checking messages, checking videos, checking what other people are doing, even when we don't need to.
Exactly. And something strange happened that day. After about 20 minutes, my mind became quieter. I started noticing small things. The sound of the wind, birds, people talking, the feeling of simply walking. And honestly, I felt more peaceful.
That sounds beautiful, and maybe that says something important. Maybe our minds are more tired than we realize, not because we are doing too much physically, but because mentally, we never stop.
That feels true. Even resting doesn't feel like rest anymore sometimes. We call it relaxing. But while relaxing, we are still consuming information. Scrolling, watching, reading comments, switching between apps, and somehow we finish feeling even more tired.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Eating junk food. Stay with me for a second.
Okay, I'm listening.
Fast content feels good at first. Quick excitement, quick entertainment, quick pleasure, just like junk food. But too much of it, and suddenly healthy things feel harder. Reading feels harder. Studying feels harder. Deep focus feels harder. Even simple quiet moments feel uncomfortable.
That comparison actually makes a lot of sense. Because when our brains get used to fast rewards, slow things feel boring. And unfortunately, most meaningful things are slow.
Learning English is slow.
Building confidence is slow.
Improving relationships is slow.
Healing is slow.
Growing is slow.
And maybe this is why people feel frustrated today. We want fast results. In a world where the best things still take time.
That reminds me of a friend of mine. His name is Daniel. He wanted to improve his English, but every time he tried to study, he got distracted after 5 minutes. Phone, videos, notifications, random thoughts. He told me, "Michael, I think I lost my ability to focus." And honestly, I understood him.
What did you tell him?
I asked him one simple question. When was the last time you sat quietly for 10 minutes? He laughed. Then he said, I honestly can't remember. And that answer stayed in my mind, because maybe focus is not something we lose forever. Maybe it's something we stop practicing.
Like exercise.
Exactly. If you stop exercising, your muscles become weaker, but they can become strong again, slowly, step by step. And maybe attention works the same way.
I really like that idea because it feels hopeful. Sometimes people think my brain is broken. I can't focus anymore, but maybe we simply need to train our focus again.
And maybe start small.
Very small,
Not 1 hour.
not something impossible.
Maybe 5 quiet minutes.
Maybe 10 minutes reading without touching your phone.
Maybe listening to one English podcast without multitasking.
That's actually a great idea for English learners. Sometimes people say, I listen to English every day, but at the same time, they scroll social media, reply to messages, think about work, and then they wonder why progress feels slow.
Because attention matters. Learning needs attention. Even 10 focused minutes can be powerful.
That sentence feels important. Not more time, better attention.
Exactly. And honestly, I started noticing changes when I gave myself small moments without distraction.
Like what?
Simple things. Putting my phone in another room, reading for 10 minutes before sleep, walking without music sometimes, just being alone with my thoughts. At first, it felt strange, even uncomfortable, but slowly, my mind felt calmer, my focus became stronger, and surprisingly, I started enjoying simple things again.
That sounds peaceful. And honestly, I think many people want that feeling. Not more productivity, not more pressure, just peace. The ability to sit with one thing and actually enjoy it.
You know something funny?
What?
As kids, many of us could spend hours doing one thing. Drawing, playing, watching the clouds. We didn't always need constant stimulation.
That's true. Maybe somewhere along the way, we forgot how to slow down.
Or maybe the world just became louder.
Maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
But here is something important for everyone listening today. If focusing feels hard lately, you are not alone. Many people feel this. And maybe, instead of blaming yourself, try asking a different question. What is stealing my attention?
What is stealing my attention? Because sometimes the answer is not laziness. Sometimes the answer is exhaustion. Too much noise, too many distractions, too many things competing for your mind.
And maybe the solution is gentler than we think. Not punishing ourselves, not saying, I need more discipline. I need to work harder. Maybe we simply need more space,
More quiet.
more moments without constant stimulation.
You know, I tried something recently.
Oh? What did you do?
Every morning, for 10 minutes, I stopped touching my phone. No scrolling, no messages, no news, just coffee and silence.
That sounds surprisingly difficult.
At first, it really was. Honestly, the first few days felt uncomfortable. My brain kept saying, check something. Maybe someone texted. Maybe you missed something important. But after a while, something changed.
What changed?
My mornings felt calmer, less rushed, and strangely, I could focus better during the day. Not perfectly, but better.
That makes sense, because maybe attention works like water. If there are too many holes, everything leaks away.
That's such a good way to explain it. And honestly, I think many of us start the day already distracted. We wake up and immediately open our phones. Messages, emails, news, videos, other people's opinions. And before our day even starts, our minds already feel full.
That feels very true. Sometimes I wonder, when was the last time we were simply alone with our own thoughts,
Without music,
without scrolling?
without checking something every few minutes.
You know what? I think silence scares people sometimes.
Really?
Yes, because silence gives us space to think, and thinking can feel uncomfortable. Sometimes we avoid silence because we don't want to face stress, or worries, or difficult emotions. So instead, we distract ourselves.
Wow, that feels deeper than just focus.
Maybe it is. Maybe attention is connected to how we live, how we rest, how we handle stress, even how we feel about ourselves.
That reminds me of something I noticed during a busy period in my life. The more stressed I became, the harder it became to focus. Even simple tasks felt difficult. Reading one page, watching one lesson, listening carefully to someone speaking. Everything felt harder.
And I think many listeners will understand that feeling, because sometimes we think, I just need to try harder, but maybe what we really need is rest.
That's an important point. Focus is not only about effort. Sometimes it is also about energy. A tired brain struggles to concentrate.
Exactly. And maybe this is something English learners should hear too. If learning feels harder lately, it doesn't always mean you're failing. Maybe you are tired. Maybe your attention is overloaded. Maybe your brain simply needs a different approach.
Smaller steps,
Gentler expectations.
more patience.
You know what helped me recently?
What?
Doing one thing at a time, just one thing, not multitasking, not switching constantly. If I read, I read. If I listen to English, I only listen. And honestly, it felt strange at first, but slowly, I started enjoying things more again.
That's beautiful. Because maybe focus is not only about productivity. Maybe focus helps us enjoy life again, to actually be present, to listen fully, to learn deeply, to experience moments instead of rushing through them.
And maybe that is the real question. Not only how do I focus more, but also what kind of life do I want to create? A life where my attention is always pulled away? Or a life where I can slow down and truly experience things?
That question feels powerful because attention shapes our lives. What we focus on slowly becomes our life.
I think that sentence deserves a moment. What we focus on slowly becomes our life.
So maybe today, we don't need huge changes. Maybe we simply need one small choice. 5 quiet minutes, 10 focused minutes of English, a short walk without the phone, one moment of being fully present.
Because focus may feel weaker right now, but maybe it is not gone. Maybe it is simply waiting to be rebuilt. Slowly, gently, one moment at a time.
And before we finish today's episode, we want to ask you something.
What do you think is stealing your attention lately?
Too much scrolling?
Stress?
Being too busy?
Or maybe just too much noise?
Tell us in the comments.
We always love hearing your thoughts.
And if this episode helped you today,
Or made you feel understood,
please support the channel.
like this video,
Subscribe to master your English.
and share this episode with someone who feels distracted lately.
Because maybe they need this reminder too.
Take care, everyone.
And remember, your attention matters.
See you in the next episode.